Hello, my name is Rachel and welcome back to Rachel Rambles. Today we are going to be giving you guys some relationship advice.
Hi.
Oh! This is very... Oh my god, you've been on the channel enough. So this is my boyfriend.
Not in a while.
Well, I haven't made a video in a couple months.
Oh.
Sorry about that, by the way. I'm back and I have plans for at least the next 2, maybe even 3 months, so stick around.
Wow, that is so much material.
I know! And just so you guys know, I'll have a new video every Thursday from now until the foreseeable future. So anyway, this is Mario, he's my boyfriend, and today we are going to be giving relationship advice.
Welcome to our bed.
A while ago, I was looking for some ideas for videos and I asked you guys on Instagram and you guys gave me a ton of really good ones, and one that I thought was really interesting was this concept where we give you relationship advice. In a separate Instagram post, I asked you guys for some relationship questions so that we're not just like giving random advice, but more like specific to what you guys want to hear. And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna answer some of those questions.
Since we are welcoming you into our relationship, we figured this would be a more intimate and apropos setting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, apropos.
Apropos.
There's crumbs in our bed. A little bit about our relationship, I guess, before we give advice. We've been together for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years this October. We have lived together for over 4 years because we moved in with each other pretty quickly.
Yeah, sort of, that was like a consequence of circumstances where...
Yeah. We moved across the country together.
Yeah, well, we had met in New Orleans, and then I got into USC film school for grad school. I decided to accept and move out to LA to do that.
And I decided to follow him like a crazy stalker.
She was in my trunk the whole time. I had no idea.
Okay, anyway, so I just wanted to put out here before we start that like our relationship is not perfect.
Wow.
Ours is perfect for us, but we've had many fights in the past.
Nope.
We don't agree on a lot of things.
Everything.
Not everything, but a lot of things. Okay, anyway, I just want to throw that out. Like, we're not claiming to be like the perfect couple giving you guys relationship advice. It's just that we've worked through a lot of things in the last 5 years, and I think that we're pretty solid. Okay. How do you handle argument/disagreements? I think this really depends on the severity of the argument/disagreement.
Sure.
Because if it's like a really intense, serious fight, we handle it by fighting. No, that's for like a very, very serious argument though. We will just fight it out.
What I would say first is that we are very, maybe because we're East Coast, we're upfront and contentious people with our opinions.
Yeah, there's no passive aggression going on here.
No.
All aggression.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Like if we have like sometimes we'll argue about something from like kind of like a minor political thing, or to like what's a better cookie, or like, I'm trying to think like silly ideas that we'll have like almost like play fights about, where we're arguing and start yelling at each other, but we both are aware that we're just being silly. Yeah.
What are we doing that about? Oh, cancel culture. We had a whole little like fake fight about cancel culture the other day. No,
like,
but how do we handle like a real disagreement?
Well, I think that's they're part and parcel to each other in a way, and that like I think some people think of an idyllic relationship as like you always get along, and I would hate that because I find that really boring.
Oh yeah.
Like I very much enjoy when we have like a repartee. And the two things that sort of make that work are, one, I think it's important to, in any sort of argument in a relationship, is to take your ego out of the equation. So that you don't take anything personally, and sort of part and parcel is the second thing, which is respecting each other.
Yeah, well we have a lot of play fights, and maybe that's what makes us so good at getting over like if we actually have a disagreement, because we have like play argued so much. But yeah, I would agree that like, and the underpinning of all of our disagreements is like just a mutual respect,
and that's
that we're never gonna cross.
The three probably like big fights that we've had, I think actually one probably the consistent undercurrent between them, or what's caused it, is someone has felt disrespected. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think everybody has like those really big fights that like define the relationship, that you're either gonna have to just forgive and move on, or that'll be the boundary that you die on that hill.
Yeah.
Like my therapist was always telling me that I have to set my own boundaries, and if they ever get broken, it's on me to decide if that's the deal breaker or not. And I think that when it comes to those really big arguments, that's kind of just like a personal thing, because I can't control him. So if something happens and my boundary gets broken, and he can't control me, so if something happens to him and one of his boundaries is broken, then it's up to us to decide if that's the nail in the coffin or not. For us, it never has been. Our like love for each other and our commitment to this relationship has always been more important to us than whatever boundary was broken. And also I think that from all of those arguments, we've only gotten stronger. Let's move on because we got a lot of questions.
We got cat fuzz.
There's cat hair on everything.
Yeah.
What hardships did you face moving to a new city and moving in together? Because we did both at the same time.
Right. So like we said in the first question, we moved in together really quickly. It was a sort of we were victims of circumstance. I don't think if we hadn't moved, we would have moved in that quickly.
No. We didn't have a ton of problems. This was our biggest problem, and it remains one of our biggest problems. I wouldn't really call it a serious problem, but for me, one of the hardest things was decorating the apartment. I'm not kidding, like, we have such opposite tastes in aesthetics. So it was very frustrating because I don't really think that I had realized that until we decided to move in together, and then we were trying to furnish our first apartment, and we were butting heads on a lot of opinions, and I think we had like a lot of micro arguments about like what color the walls should be and what the curtains should look like and where the paintings should go and what furniture we were gonna keep and get rid of and buy, and our cats are going insane. I don't know, for me that's what I remember. I mean, this was like 4 years ago, but that's what I remember.
The biggest thing I remember actually is just space, which is why I think they were kind of the same issue, because we both, especially when we first moved here, didn't really know anyone, didn't really know anywhere. We lived in a fairly small apartment. Whenever we did have little fights, and I would say they were little fights, but they became bigger, I think, just in the fact that we felt like it was a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
We were both stuck in this one place.
Tips for moving in together and moving across the country, I think, is just you have to be super flexible.
Yeah.
Which I am.
Again, check the ego.
Yeah. The same advice for arguing, because you're probably going to argue about all kinds of little stupid stuff moving in together for the first time.
By the time you guys are moving in with each other, you're probably at a serious stage in the relationship. Your I's have to become we's. Like, I think it's easy when you first move in to think about, oh, I do things this way, she does things that way, and that's why you guys have arguments. And you have to start thinking about
how are we gonna do it?
Yeah, like Rachel is messy, messier than I am.
Oh yeah.
And I just know, like, one of the responsibilities I've just taken on is like cleaning up after her. Like if she leaves like glasses or plates or stuff like in the kitchen or in the living room.
How did you deal with one of you being in grad school? That'll be me and my boyfriend next year. Yeah, you did 3 years of grad school.
Yeah.
There were a couple things about it that bothered me, but overall it didn't feel that much different than you doing anything else. Like, your job was to be a student, and that's kind of what it felt like. The only things I think that were like a little bit frustrating is that because you were a student, you sometimes had that like student mentality, even though I was very much like in my career, and like I felt like sometimes we were a little off step on the stages of life we were on.
Sure. Because
you were still a student and I was like working like full time. Those are two different lifestyles. So sometimes I felt like we weren't always like connected in that way. Other than that, like, I don't know. I mean, we moved out here so that you could go to grad school. And I always knew that, like, pretty much from the first few months of our relationship, that was gonna be happening. I don't know. I mean, there are certain just realities in this world that you have to accept, and like I said, like I always knew you were going back to grad school. That was never going to be a secret. So I think it had a lot to do with just realizing that this relationship is more than just my desires, it's your desires too. And I never had a problem with you getting your master's.
And now I'm a master.
Now you're a master. What do you two do that drives the other crazy in an irritation kind of way?
What does drive me crazy about you leaving clothes everywhere is your shoes. Because you leave your shoes in the middle of walkways, and I always trip over them.
Yeah.
Or I like stumble, or
do.
roll an ankle or something.
I do. You've never rolled an ankle on my
I come
shoe.
close.
Oh! I got one! When you shave your fucking beard, which I already don't like because I prefer you with a beard. I know you put towels down to attempt to not get little hairs
How
on them.
considerate of me.
But you don't do a good enough job. I swear to God, if we were to go in there right now, we would see little fucking beard hairs all over the sink and all over the little shelf under the mirror. And you know how loose hair freaks me out. What do you two do when you need time alone?
I think it's like even more important now during quarantine.
Well, here's what I'll say about that. You still go to work full time.
Yeah.
You're an essential worker.
Yeah, but I haven't had actually alone time in a long time.
Well, you may haven't, but I feel the dead opposite because you go to work and hang out with all your coworkers, and I stay here alone all day, every day for 8 hours a day. I feel like I have too much alone time. I've developed full personalities in conversations and situations with the cats.
Yeah, for me, my outlet has always been sports, like golf, which is a sport. It's such a good way for my brain to just de-stress, and especially with golf or rock climbing, where it's solo and you're just like concentrating on like one thing. But that's sort of like the best way for me to get space.
That's good advice, to like find something that you like doing on your own.
Yeah.
Because before the pandemic, you would go rock climbing like 2 or 3 times a week. So that's a good way to find space, like from your work and from your home life. You're also introverted.
Yeah.
And I'm extroverted. So maybe this question doesn't apply to me so much because I don't really feel the need for space that much. And if I need space, it's more often that I need space from like the outside world, and being with you is not, you know what I mean? Like for me, the most relaxing thing I can do is sit in this bed and watch a movie with you. Also like sports. Ugh. So this one just says communication. I would say that communication is not an issue for us. Over communicate. Yeah, seriously. Like, and like I think we said this at the very top of the video, like we are not passive aggressive people.
No.
Like if we're being passive aggressive, we're both smart enough to realize it in the other person and be like, just what the fuck is wrong? You know what I mean? And then we just come out and say it. Like if we have a problem, even if it's super embarrassing or we think it might hurt the other one's feelings or whatever, like I would say maybe in the beginning we were a little more cagey about that kind of stuff, but now there's pretty much nothing that's like not
we're
on the
very
table.
comfortable with each other.
We're extremely comfortable with each other, maybe to a fault, I don't know.
I guess if you're early in a relationship, no, you don't want to over communicate because you don't know this person necessarily.
You probably don't
as
have
much.
as many problems early in a relationship.
Yeah, I guess the real question is about trust, because you're not going to communicate with someone you don't trust.
No, that's good. Like I think maybe the reason that we are so open is because we completely trust each other. I can tell you the most embarrassing thing because I trust you to not go behind my back and tell our friends.
Yeah.
Right? And vice versa. What are your favorite casual date spots?
Well, lately it's been the bedroom or the living room.
Yeah, since the pandemic, obviously we haven't gone on any dates. But before the pandemic, we had specifically set up a date night every Wednesday? We love a good fancy dinner.
Yeah.
So we'll look up like fancy restaurants by us and go buck wild.
Yeah, the first thing that I will spend my money on besides like the bare essentials is food.
And wine.
Food, yeah.
We also like to go mini golfing. Mario always wins. It's really, I don't think I've ever even come close to winning.
No.
But it's fun. We've been to that arcade downtown.
Oh, escape rooms.
Oh, escape rooms. We've done a lot of escape rooms together. We love doing escape rooms. We have a lot of board games.
Yeah.
A lot of board games. And actually in a future video, I think we're gonna go over our favorite 2-player board games. So let me know if you'd be interested in that, because we can go into more detail on what kind of board games that we can play with just the 2 of us. This person asked a question. I don't know, maybe English is not their native language. I don't want to make fun of them. Maybe they were trying to be funny, or maybe they just typed this weird. But the wording of the question is, how I know if he like me?
How will you know?
How you know? How do you know if someone likes you is just like a generally good base relationship question. Yeah. Okay, you know how I really knew you liked me?
How?
We matched on Tinder. How do you know someone likes you? I think, you know how I like to think about it?
What?
I give off certain
pheromones.
Vibes.
I do the baboon method where my butt becomes really flushed.
Ew.
I just parade it around and see who catches on.
No, when I like somebody, I feel like I give certain signals. And so when I'm trying to decide if someone likes me back, I try and look for those signals. So mine is just like always making an excuse to try and talk to them, texting them constantly, eye contact. Whenever I first like someone and we're not together, I make an aggressive amount of eye contact. I do. So I don't know, I just always think like, is this person like going out of their way to spend time with me? Is this person texting me a lot? Are they making aggressive eye contact? Are they finding excuses to touch me, like conversationally?
I do that.
Yeah. So
That's
there are like
definitely
certain signals that people give off when they like somebody that I think are like fairly obvious. And also with that comes a great deal of confidence, because I'm a very confident person in myself. Like I could have the confidence to be like, I think this person could like me. I am good enough for this person. So let's look out for these signals. Because I think what stops a lot of people from even considering it is like, oh, that person could never like me. But I say no. Yes, they can. And Mario was giving me an aggressive amount of eye contact, so.
Quick bit of advice. If someone looks at you and their eyes dilate, they like you. It's a product of sort of your heartbeat increasing.
Okay. Come quick. Let's end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching us give relationship advice to you. It was pretty fun, easy, whatever for us. Oh, I think our lunch is ready. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you hit subscribe because seriously, I have so much content coming up for you guys. We're filming 3 videos today. This is the first of 3 videos. And yeah, let me know if you guys like this video down below and I'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.